looking for mushrooms today. We finally got some rain and we are heading out to our favorite spot to look for chanterelle mushrooms and any other edible mushroom. Last year we didn't find any because it was too dry, but we're hoping to have some luck today. We didn't have to go very far until we found some. These are chanterelle mushrooms. I have my mesh bag. I have a knife and a toothbrush. I'll tell you why I have the toothbrush here in a minute. These are really fresh. I'm gonna trim off the ends. We're gonna take our toothbrush, any old toothbrush will do, because you clean them now, put them in your bag clean, they come out clean. Put a dirty mushroom in a bag and they all turn out dirty. Close. These are definitely chanterelles because they have the ridges in the mushroom that go down to the stem, and they're not gills, they're just known as ridges.
White on the inside.
And they're white on the inside. These are small, but they should be really good. They don't have any bugs in them yet.
Usually where there's one, there's more.
Yes. I'm gonna have you hold my bag. I can grab this other one. Let's go find some more. Chanterelles like hardwoods, and this is a hardwood forest, specifically oaks. They're very happy here. And they say where you find one, you're going to find a lot more. So far we've only found 4, but it is quite recent after the rain. So we'll continue to come out here and walk. And it's an activity that we got into a couple years ago, and it's good exercise. Gives you something fun to do while you're out in the woods walking around. And we really enjoy it. And you get to eat what you find. Like what Dan found. Dan and I split up to cover a little more area, and he found some more. So our bags got enough in there for at least a meal. Just walking along the trail here. Yeah, that's the one I saw first. You can really find the chanterelles because they really stick out.
It's a good beginning mushroom to start.
Yeah, very good beginning mushroom to start. There's another one there. We're also near a motorcycle trail.
Northern Michigan.
Northern Michigan.
All kinds of fun.
This is also kind of a rare find. The Indian ghost pipe. There's a few more of them right here. And there's a few more right up over there. These are absolutely beautiful. They're not the best for eating, but they do make a good tincture and people use them medicinally. They're a beautiful mushroom. I've never eaten one. And I know they can be kind of rare in some areas, so we just leave them alone. We do tend to find them quite often in our area. And the more you look, the more you see. Oh, there's more here. The Indian ghost pipe. I don't know the scientific name for it. We're just taking a quick walk through the woods in front of our house here, where we've found chanterelles in the past. And not really seeing any. We are starting to see some of the non-edible type of mushrooms, and usually when they start seeing a lot of those, we call them kind of the junk mushrooms. But usually when they start seeing a lot of those mushrooms creeping up in the woods is when we start getting out and looking for the edibles. And we've really had a lot of fun learning how to find mushrooms in the woods. We started out with just trying to find one or two varieties of mushrooms. We didn't make it so daunting of a task that we didn't know what we were doing or we would get frustrated with it. We just picked a couple of really popular mushrooms to find and easy ones and just went out and started looking for them in the right type of forest. We used to, when we lived downstate, have our secret little mushroom spots for morels. But let me tell you, ever since we moved up here, we haven't found a morel to save our life. So I know everybody's all about the morels, and yeah, they're good, but there's a lot of other really good mushrooms out there as well. So we tend to focus on more of the chanterelles. We found quite a few hedgehogs. Those are fun and very easy to identify because they have little teeth on the bottom of the mushroom rather than gills. So they're very easy to identify and they taste really good. And oyster mushrooms make the best cream of mushroom soup. And they're so easy to dry. They're, you can just lay them out on a cookie sheet or like a cooling rack on top of a cookie sheet, and just so circulation can get around them. Let them stay out for a few days until they're good and crispy, and then you know that they're dried and you can put them in a jar and then use them later. And they rehydrate really well. And you just want to make sure you get them fresh. You definitely want to make sure that you're checking for bugs on your oyster mushrooms, because the bugs will find them long before you do. So it's been about a week since we were out here looking for mushrooms. We found a few chanterelles on this trip, but I also want to show you something else that we found. These are the black trumpet mushrooms that we've been looking for. And they blend in really well with the leaves, as you can see. If you pull the leaves back, you see that they look like a black trumpet. I picked some of the bigger ones. We left these to grow a little bit more. But you can see how they just come right up out of the leaves, and they look like they just blend right in. We're out here looking with friends, and she found them before I did. So they're a beautiful earthy mushroom. These are more of a savory mushroom that you would add in to a dish for like more of an umami flavor, and not necessarily to just eat a mushroom. It's a flavoring mushroom. But they're definitely a little hard to find. And that's because people say that they just can't find them in the leaves. So we use a couple of different books when we're out looking for mushrooms. We don't carry them around too much anymore. We tend to maybe just bring a specimen back and look it up, because we don't want to be carrying too many books around in the woods. But having a couple of mushroom books, they recommend you have at least 2 to 3 different varieties of mushroom books when you're learning, because some books have some really good features and other books have other good features. Some of them have better photos and some of them have better descriptions. So it's really good to have a variety of books with you. And even if you're not into mushrooms, get out in the woods, get out there and find that quiet. Just find that peaceful spot, walk around, find a tree book, go and identify trees, find some sort of thing that you can just identify, make it a treasure hunt. Just enjoy your time outside, but give yourself something to do, so it's not just walking through the woods and getting bored, but give yourself something to do. It's great for exercise, it's great for the mind, and it will definitely be worth it. So definitely not finding any chanterelles in here right now, but it only rained 2 days ago here where we found the other chanterelles earlier. It rained pretty good about a week ago, and that's about when they've been popping up over the last couple of days. So yesterday's rain should pop them up again in a few more days. So we'll just continue to keep checking. Chanterelles have a longer season, and so they're not a one-time only. You miss them, you're done, but you can definitely find them for a longer period of time. It's also important to note that when you're trying edible mushrooms for the first time, that you only try one variety at a time. If you're going to have a reaction to something, you want to know at least which one it was. They say that you should try just a couple of bites of a particular mushroom, give it a few days, and then you can try a different variety if you don't have any problems. Even edible mushrooms, some people can have some problems with them, just like any other food. So when we prepared these mushrooms, we first cleaned them. We cleaned them when we put them in the bag, and then we also just gave them a quick cleaning when we got them home. I gave them a quick rinse because I was going to be preparing them right away. And when you properly identify a chanterelle, it should be very white inside, as opposed to its look like jack-o'-lantern, which will not be white inside. We also are checking for bugs in all of these mushrooms, but these are very fresh and we did not find any little bugs or anything inside of these mushrooms. So we cut them up into nice bite-sized pieces and we are going to prepare them for a side dish to go with our supper. So to prepare these mushrooms, we just took a cast iron skillet and melted some butter and fried the chanterelle mushrooms in the butter with some garlic powder and some salt, and that was it. You'll notice that there is a lot of water content in these mushrooms, and it took a little while to cook off the water. But once the water cooked down, they browned up very nicely and they tasted delicious.